We just want to do a quick plug here for this weekend, September 14th and 15th, 2019. Ryan and I, Cole Cheney, will be heading down to Atlantic City for the New Jersey Cannabis Convention, Nikon. You excited, Ryan?
I'm more than excited.
We're going to fucking hit that Atlantic City Convention Center hard with a vengeance and meet as many of you guys as we can.
So hard.
We're going to bring some stuff. We're going to bring some little gadgets and gizmos and business cards, and we're going to bring our buttons and our, what else? We got slaps and...
You'll just have to find out.
We got stuff. We got swag. We'll be handing out some swag to the people we meet. We'll also be looking for your Weedman Van stories, so that'll be fun because this is a cannabis convention. This isn't just strictly CBD. This is like both sides of the cannabis plant.
So it should be very fun.
Everyone should have a Weedman Van story, I would imagine.
Hundreds of stories we better get.
Oh man, we're going to be hitting the 2 days in a row of conventioning. So yeah, we're going to be hitting a lot of the workshops, trying to meet some of you presenters. So if you just hear about this podcast after the fact and didn't meet us, get in contact with us because we want to talk to you. 1-833-CBD-GANG.
Yeah, come shake my hand.
Shake both of our hands. And the first night, this is one thing that I'm really excited about. Saturday night, this Saturday, after the convention, from like 9 to 1 in the morning, there's this crazy CBD after party. Do you have the details on it?
All I know is that it kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah, it just kind of like showed up on their website, like CBD bar, CBD, like all these things that are just CBD one after another.
It's going to be CBD lit.
Yeah.
I mean, it starts after my bedtime, but you know, it's whatever.
Oh my God, we're going to be staying up late. And the amount of CBD we're going to be taking is just going to make us sleepy. We're going to have to fucking Red Bull or something right before it, you know, like 5-hour energy, get in there, do that, all that shit. Drink all that CBD, consume all that CBD. I'm sure there's other cannabinoids probably going to be going around. Who knows?
You get up early again the next day and do it all over again.
I want to get up early, hit the pool, hit the hot tub, and then schlep back over to the convention center.
I'm going to get up and hit the floor.
Do you think we're going to get some gambling in while we're down there?
I'm going to try.
Do you want to do that like after the CBD party? Like fucking 2 in the morning?
You know what? I probably won't even sleep. Probably like, yeah.
Yeah, where's the other window when we could do it? I don't know. Like, we're going to be so packed for time having to do all this, like, constantly working, like meet and
be
greet.
Heathens and gamble on Sunday.
Right? Oh my God, we could hit the strip up after the convention if we wanted to.
He said strip up. Up, not club.
Right, no strip, not the strip club. I've been to them in Atlantic City. They're not that great. Sorry, guys. Compared to Vegas, they're like on a 1 to 10 scale, the lower end of the scale. I'm not going to put an exact number on it. Went to a bachelor party there for my buddy David G. Was not impressed. But anyway, we will be hitting up the convention center and meeting all of you guys. So if you're coming to town, if you're coming to New Jersey, we'll be shooting down from New York. It's like a 3-hour drive from here. And we'll be crashing down there for the night, hitting up both days. So make sure if you see the CBD Source podcast guys, Colin, Ryan, swing by and say hi. All right? Psyched.
I mean, I'll be wearing my chef jacket at the party.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
You know, take some pictures.
We just got the brand new Cannabis chef coat. You'll be seeing Ryan rocking the chef coat for the first time out in public.
Oh, yeah.
We just took a little tour of our new Cannabis kitchen. I think Ryan's going to edit that
Beautiful
video.
Kitchen.
This kitchen is fucking insane. So we're going to be doing some amazing Cannabis meals, some healthy seasonal recipes that Ryan's cooking up with cannabidiol. That's CBD. So Cannabis. We're gonna be cooking up some crazy shit, and I can't wait to start eating that stuff, Ryan. We're gonna put that video on YouTube pretty soon. I guess you haven't really edited it yet. We shot it with
not yet, but we're gonna get a little teaser going.
Cool, very cool, awesome. So see you guys this weekend. I'm gonna try to edit some of that audio from the convention and try to get it up Tuesday night, maybe Wednesday. And then maybe a second episode on Friday because I'm sure we're gonna have a fuck ton of audio. Yeah,
so much.
So
if you guys are around Atlantic City, stop by, buy tickets. I'm pretty sure there's still some online you can get.
Is it free?
It's $29 to $159.
And it's open to the public. You just have to pay. It's not a B2B or anything. It's B2B and B2C. So like the public can come in and learn all about cannabis from, it's the biggest cannabis convention New Jersey has.
Yeah, anybody's welcome. So be there, meet us, tell us your weed man story.
Try to find us in the crowd. You'll see us.
Where's Walt? There he is.
CBD gang, we're looking for your weed man van stories. The typical weed man in van has many faces,
Dirtbag Dave,
Dirty Shows, Scuzzy Sean,
many names,
Long-Haired Larry, Greasy Gerald,
Sketchy Eddie, and many different types of vans. But everybody has met him, and everybody has a story. Who turned you on to the power of flower? We want to hear about your first experience with grass, pot, Maui Wowie, bud. Give the show a call at 1-833-CBD-GANG. That's 1-833-223-4264. Tell us your story in 3 minutes or less, and we might play it on the show. Hell, one day we might animate it for our YouTube page. We'll be right back with more from Cole Chaney and the CBD Source podcast.
Warning. The following podcast contains nicotine, fat clouds, coarse language, and other adult shit. It is intended for a mature audience. Listener discretion is advised.
Hey gang, I'm Cole Chaney, and this is episode 23 of the CBD Source podcast. Coming up on the show, we got a special Friday edition of the CBD Source podcast. Haven't really done this before, but there's crazy shit going on in the vape world. I don't know if you've seen the news recently, but Trump is thinking about banning flavored e-cigarettes across the country. Earlier in the week, I visited the CBD Source Vape Lounge when only New York was seemingly on the verge of doing this with Andrew Cuomo, and I talked to Anthony about it. If you've turned on the internet or the news or anything in the last couple days, you'll have seen something about this potential vaping flavor ban that might happen across the country. It started in Michigan when Michigan banned all flavored e-vapes, and then New York started kicking around the idea, where Governor Andrew Cuomo gave a speech, and now President Trump is talking about banning flavored vapes across the country. Why, you may ask? Does it have something to do with poisoned nicotine vapes? No, nothing. Zero to do with that. This is such a bizarre story. This is a magic trick like nothing I've ever seen before. On the black market, somebody was taking a thickening agent, adding it to very thin THC carts to make them seem like they had a more dense concentrate to sell them for a higher value. Turns out the chemical that they were putting in these THC carts was a lipid, and when people were vaping it, it was getting them sick because your lungs aren't supposed to be inhaling warm liquid fat. Doesn't make sense. They found out who these people were and these black market THC carts that were causing all this damage, and that should be the end of fucking story. In a rational, sensible world, what we could have taken away from this is black market THC carts can be dangerous because there are bad players. You don't know exactly what's in them. People who are into THC are going to be buying it regardless. That means more people will die. We got to make this shit federally legal. Like, why? What's the hesitation? This should be the push. This should have opened the doors for THC legalization nationwide. The headlines, the news stories, everything about this has been co-opted by the anti-flavor vaping movement, and they're running with it. And now it's getting out of control. According to The Economist, there are 11 million vapers in America. So the healthier alternative to smoking is now on the verge of being crushed under the foot of the government. And when the boot is lifted, underneath will be a pristine pack of cigarettes, ready for you to rejoin your habit right where you left it. We are in a fucked up place right now. So let's go back to a not so fucked up place earlier in the week. This is how much things change in just a few days. Let's go to the CBD Source Vape Lounge and talk to Anthony, about what was happening earlier in the week.
Gang, you're listening to the CBD Source podcast.
You've just entered the CBD Source Vape Lounge with all the CBD vape you can vape. Oh shit, here's Anthony, the lounge's resident vape expert. Everywhere Anthony goes, people blow vape rings at his feet. The kid doesn't want to walk on solid earth, he wants to walk on vape rings. You know that shit's impossible, Anthony. Follow vape, bitch.
I brought 2 vapes into the vape lounge today.
Look at you. You got more than I do at the moment.
I'm double fisting because this vape stuff is going nuts. That's all everyone's talking about around here today.
Got to stock up while you can.
So we're back in the CBD Source Vape Lounge with Anthony, and man, all hell seems to be breaking loose here in New York as far as what's going on in the vape world. I mean, outside of it's like THC side, CBD side, and mostly like the flavored nicotine vapes too, right? Like it all is overlapping right now. Something's going down. Can you refresh our memory? What's happening right now?
Yeah, it's been a crazy week. I know last time I was on, we had discussed, I think one person at that time may have died from vaping a vape cart of some sort. I don't know. The news wasn't really out yet. Since then, there have been 4 more deaths, so a total of 5. And the CDC has narrowed it down, they think, to a certain oil, a vitamin E acetate.
That's in the carts. That's like some kind of thing that it's like one of the solvents or something, or it's like in the mixture of solvent.
Yeah. So I've been researching this, especially today. There's something out there called thickener that people can use when they homebrew their carts and stuff. So thickener won't work for anything that has to be lab tested, because essentially, from what I gather, when you're mixing distillate carts, the thicker oil, the more potent it is. So if you end up with an end product that's thin, it won't sell because it's not potent. So
Right, it doesn't look concentrated and like you're not getting as much for your buck, I guess.
Exactly. So this thickener basically will make a weak, thin distillate look like a nice golden, distillate.
It's sort of like I was just drinking like Chobani yogurt, and I was looking at it was like a strawberry banana yogurt, and on the side it said the coloring is like vegetable coloring. Like they couldn't even go in the fruit family to make those the colors.
That's so weird.
Very bizarre.
What's off topic? What's the obsession with colors? I feel like everybody would be so much healthier if we just got rid of like ice pops. Why do you need to have colors?
Because it draws your eye, like especially if you're a little kid, you're like reaching for the jewels.
Yeah, but that shit's like cancer causing, man. Just make it colorless.
If all M&Ms were one color, would they be as attractive?
Yeah, true.
Yeah, it's just to fool your fucking eyes into making you buy stuff.
Oh yeah.
If we went to a bookstore and every book was just solid color, same color every book.
Yeah, nah, I get that point. Yeah,
they're fucking with us. They're fucking with us on a level that we're, trying to appeal to our aesthetics. What's aesthetically pleasing to us, and they don't. Didn't something come out like recently that Skittles are all the same taste?
Oh, if so, I didn't read it. That'd be funny as shit, though.
Like just different colors, and it fucks with your mind. You just believe it. So anyway, so they're thickening up these. It's THC carts, right? It's like street black market THC carts you're talking about?
Yeah, so this thickener essentially will mimic what a nice high potency distillate will look like, but, under lab tests, it will do you no good because it's just going to come up as you used a shit ton of filler, essentially. So it's good for these black market guys who want to dilute their product, make some more money, but unfortunately the end result is probably gonna end up with some lung damage.
Oh yeah, because the vitamin E acetate is that what it is?
Yeah, the real name for it actually is
talk right into the mic.
The actual name for it is tocopherol acetate. It's essentially a vitamin E oil derived from almonds, I believe.
I mean, I've taken vitamin E just as a capsule or whatever, for extra vitamins. I know my mom lived by that when I was a kid. The vitamin E as an actual, it's in the vitamin cabinet type of thing.
Right.
But not turning it into an aerosol and spraying it into your lungs. I could see how if that's something that damages lung tissue, you should not be just shoving it into a cart to make it look thicker. That's pretty fucked up.
Yeah, the vape world is very strange. A lot of manufacturers, they'll say, oh, well, it's, generally recognized as safe by the FDA for consumption, but, I wouldn't vape, food.
Right.
It's a total different story. Yeah.
Let's put pure cake icing into an aerosol form and throw it into our lungs. That's not safe at all.
It's safe to eat, so we could probably vape it.
Doesn't make sense. Yeah, that doesn't make sense. So what's going on? They're cracking down on. This is one of those things where you have a small issue, you locate the issue, and instead of just cracking down on the one issue, it seems like they're going across the board. Like they're using this little thing that they're finding as some select group of scam artists that are doctoring their thin THC vape carts with something to thicken them up, and now across the board they're doing some major changes in the vape world because of this, which have nothing to do with the THC side, right?
Yeah. I'm not sure if this was news last week when we were on the show, but Michigan, the whole state of Michigan, banned all flavored e-liquids essentially. So the way normally a ban has to come under a vote, yada yada, as we've seen in New York for the past 3 years. Luckily they've been shot down, but that may change. We'll get to that. Michigan was actually able to ban flavored e-liquids overnight under the guise of a public health crisis, and it's an executive order. So essentially it's a 6-month ban. After that, it'll go up for a vote. And businesses have 30 days to comply. So
I guess all the vape shops in Michigan are probably everyone's storming the stores with their wallets out. If they've got money, they're buying their flavors now while they can.
Yeah, it's crazy. I deal with a manufacturer who also has some brick and mortars out in Michigan, and they're kind of shit out of luck.
Is it doing anything does any of this have to do with CBD, like CBD vapes, or is any of that getting affected?
As far as I know, it's not.
In Michigan, is it?
No.
Well, that's great. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
For me, I mean, from a personal standpoint, it's good for me, but for everybody out there who's using vape, to actually quit smoking and transitioning out of, a horrible habit that's, possibly risking lung cancer and all these other things to just switch to vape, and now all of a sudden the flavors that you like are being taken away from you. That's a major issue for a lot of people. Not good. I mean, a lot of people, this is their daily go-to. They use it all the time, and it's kind of like taking away their coffee flavoring in a way. For a lot, it's definitely going to be a a lot of people are probably going to go back to smoking cigarettes who, I don't know. It's tough. I don't think I could at this point, but I'm sure a lot of people definitely would. Well, you might have to, because what happened in Michigan, there's threatening might happen in New York, right? So what's going down? I just saw you sent me this email this morning. Why don't you tell me about this?
ABC News put out an article. Governor Cuomo did a press conference about the whole issue with vaping these carts. Very weirdly, though, he's blaming all vapes, even though the CDC targeted it to THC vapes, but that's another topic. So there's a rumor that they will basically do the same thing Michigan did. Again, that's not concrete, but we've heard some things today that indicate that it's a good possibility.
So basically, all that has to happen is Governor Cuomo has to just sign an executive order, gubernatorial order that this is a health crisis and all flavor vapes are on a 6-month ban, something like that, right? Is that what would happen if he did it?
Yeah.
Let me play a little bit of that audio from that ABC interview, and you can talk over it while we're playing. All right?
We're here today to discuss vaping and e-cigarettes. Our advice, our guidance is quite simple. Don't do it. Don't do it because we don't know that it is safe. There's been a significant increase in the number of illnesses, even deaths across the country. CDC estimates about 500 that are linked to vaping of certain substances. And this is a frightening public health phenomenon. It's an activity that many young people engage in. And common sense says if you don't know what you are smoking, don't smoke it. And right now, we don't know what you're smoking in a lot of these vaping substances, etc.
No.
The Department of Health is going to take several actions that Dr. Zucker will explain. First, the Department of Health is starting an investigation into some of these companies that produce vaping substances to find out exactly what is in it.
As they should.
There has been some evidence that vitamin E acetate, which is used in many of these vaping products, has significant health risks associated with it. So the Department of Health will be starting that investigation and will be sending out subpoenas to that end. Second, the Department of Health is going to require that shops that sell vaping e-cigarettes post a warning.
There's a funny meme. It's a guy driving in Michigan with his vape, and he gets pulled over with a cop, and the cop goes, "That better be THC in that vape."
Proposing legislation for the new legislature.
I mean, vape shops already have warnings that there's nicotine in the products, right? Isn't there some kind of warning? Or
Yeah, I don't think anybody gets into vaping not quite sure whether or not there's nicotine in it. That's very strange to me.
So is he talking about posting a warning that says there might be some kind of thing like vitamin E?
Not only that. No, the picture of the sign is in front of him during the press conference. And it literally says something along the lines of, you know, consider what you're doing. This is not a smart venture for you, or something to basically, you know, it's going to definitely deter people who are not already vape. Like if I'm looking to quit smoking and I go to a product and it's like, this is probably not safe, probably not going to do it. So it's going to be pretty effective in getting current smokers to switch over to vaping.
Because you can't ban that which the federal government approves. But depending on what the investigation actually finds, we could expand that action, certainly.
So it seems like he's basically doesn't really know the difference between smoking and vaping. It's talking about, like, if you don't know what you're smoking, don't want to be putting it in your body. I mean, where do we go? Where do we go from here?
It's tough. The information that he gets generally is gathered by, his interns, as with any other political position. And it sounds like they're just getting their information off of, like, Facebook clickbait and bullshit, because, the facts are out there, and just totally ignoring the facts is one thing. But
how many cases of these vapes that have that vitamin E acetate in it have been from nicotine vapes? Do you know?
Well, okay, here's the thing. So there's about 500 cases confirmed, I think, of this lung, damage. I think 2 or 3 of them said that they only use nicotine vapes, but the big theory behind that is, and, these people were underage, their parents were there, so rather than say, I bought a fucking bootleg THC cart, it's a lot easier to just say, all I did was vape a fucking Juul, and now I'm breathing weird. Like, so I don't know. I mean, I find it very unlikely. I've never heard in my many years of vaping. I mean, you got to realize vaping's been around for a very long time, and, we can argue till the end of, the show whether it's good for you, whether it's bad for you, whether it's I think the key here is that it's a harm reduction method. And in the years that I've been vaping, there's never been I don't want to say an epidemic because it's not, but there's never been like a health scare like this. Yeah, I mean,
this came out of nowhere. It's not like all of a sudden the vape carts that everyone has been using for years turned bad and like started hurting people. It's like there's obviously a new chemical introduced,
right?
And that's the agent that's causing this, and they're tracking it back, and now they're thinking it's this vitamin E that's put in that thickener. So the key isn't to ban all flavors, especially ones that don't use that thickener. Right. The real solution is ban that thickener.
Right.
Like, what the fuck? It's like if I'm trying to think of an analogy. It'd be like if they introduced a new element to gasoline that was supposed to make cars run better, and it actually started destroying engines.
Yeah, let's ban fucking gasoline.
They ban all gasoline.
Shit, man.
Like, it doesn't make sense. It's like, oh, there's a fucking element in there that you can just take out, and then your car will run fine.
Right. Oh, we just added this, so now things are going bad. It must be the whole fucking
I don't
thing.
know why we threw this additive in here, and now we have a culprit to take down an entire industry. Like, it doesn't make sense.
It's insane. And let's make it clear, this thickener is bullshit anyways. The only people that are using it are cheap people that are making bullshit and want to make it look legit. So
it's sort of like
don't feel bad for these people.
Back in the day when people would cut cocaine with baby powder or something like that. Yeah. Like you're taking an element that's totally not supposed to be there, and you're just trying to make a quick buck by thickening something up that it'll have a better street value if you add this bullshit to it. And it turns out the bullshit they're adding is something that's making people sick. So all the legitimate companies that have everything tested and are growing things, in a totally safe environment and doing everything right are getting penalized for some street dealers who decided to thicken their shit up with elements that should not be in there. And now everyone's going to be fucked. Not just the legitimate stores and legitimate dispensaries or whoever, but the consumer, us, just normal humans who are into vaping, like anyone who likes flavors and who enjoys that as a tiny little minuscule piece of relaxation in their otherwise bullshit day. They are getting fucked because of the government is turning this like little 4 or 5 deaths because someone started trying to make a little extra money by doping up their weak weed carts and selling them for a premium. That is bizarre. Like, that should not be.
Yeah, I mean, this is a great lesson about cutting corners. Just don't do it.
Yeah,
Put
no
in the
shit.
work. Do shit right. And it's funny, the one website, so they've identified many of manufacturers of this thickener. And the one, you go to their website and it's just like you can't buy anymore, obviously, but they have a whole disclaimer up like, oh, we did the proper testing on inhalation before we released it. It's a lipid, and it doesn't take a rocket scientist to know that anything that is a fat, that is a larger molecule of fat, is not going to work well in the lungs. Lipid pneumonia has been around for longer than vaping. I mean, it's kind of common knowledge. Then they go on to say that, well, this is the fault of the manufacturer, the distributor, the wholesaler, the retailer.
Passing the buck down the line.
They're sad they got caught.
Do you know what brands they were? Is there anything that we figured out, like what brands, if you bought these carts, do not vape them? Yeah. If you bought these carts, do not vape them.
I'll name some of these fuckers. So we have Floriplex's uber thick thickener, Honeycut, which nobody can seem to find who manufactures Honeycut. I guess it's just Honeycut. And then Mr. Extractor's Clear Cut. So those 3 are thickening agents that, manufacturers would buy to cut their carts with. Dank Vape is one of the carts that, it's a very strange story with Dank Vape.
So Dank Vape is a brand that makes THC carts, or?
Well, for a while, it was thought that Dank Vape was a legitimate company based out of California making carts, and then China was ripping them off. What's coming out now, though, is there's no business license in California registered to Dank Vapes. There's a bunch of Twitters and Instagram accounts that claim to be the real Dank Vapes. They were contacted by like news agencies, and most of them either, took the page down. One guy communicated with a news outlet, and it was just like a very strange, it sounded like a young kid, just, clearly he was not, it's just sketchy. So basically the news article was like, maybe there isn't even a real Dank Vape. They theorized that Dank Vape is just like this designer came out with cool packaging, people downloaded that shit, and are just making their own carts with Dank Vape packaging. So,
oh man,
yeah, Dank Vape is kind of like
it's not a real entity. It's just kind of like, it's funny. Like when I used to work at Marvel, when there would be an issue that a lot of people, like it was a last minute issue that was running to press, and they didn't have all the pages drawn, or like they didn't have one solid inker. They had like 20 people inking a page each because there was just no time for one guy to do all the work.
Yeah,
they would credit Manny Hands, like a person's name, Manny Hands, and that was the code for it. Was done by a shitload of people.
Oh shit, that's pretty interesting, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
So like I would imagine the Dank Vape is just like, it's sort of like Banksy. You don't know who it is. It's probably like 20 people.
Yeah.
So all these people just like printing the same like PDF file and putting it on their vape carts, and people think it's legit because there is no main company to sue you because it doesn't really exist.
Exactly. It's a conglomerate of shitheads, and
God,
there's no going after them really.
So that means if you own a Dank Vape cartridge, it's fake.
Yeah,
there is no real source.
From what I've gathered, I could be wrong, but everything I've read leads me to believe that if you have a Dank Vape cart, that shit is fake.
Do not inhale that.
Yeah.
Do not vape that. Oh my god, horrible.
What is the worst thing that you've ever eaten, you've ever done for food, to get food while you had the munchies? I'd love to know that.
Oh, that's a great idea. What is the craziest munchies you've ever had? What is the biggest crave you've ever had, and the most disgusting thing you might have resorted to? Like, there's just nothing left in the fridge. You came upon some weed, didn't expect it, and didn't do that shop ahead of time to make sure you had something stocked and ready to go for that munchie crave. What did you end up eating? Because that is an interesting concept. Give us a call, 1-833-CBD-GANG. That's 1-833-CBD-GANG. The numbers are 223-4264. I want to hear from you.
And if you have ever eaten garbage, or I should say food out of the garbage while having the munchies, or any other crazier story, or maybe a story that's not as crazy, give us a call.
Did you get so high that you ate your dad's 40-year-old Twinkie collection?
No, I did not do that. And that's probably because I don't eat Twinkies. That's probably the only reason.
Did you at home get so high that you found your parents' wedding cake topper in the freezer, thawed that shit out and munched on it because you just had to have that cake?
But if I had one of those spare, just around, I would. I'd be like, sorry, Mom, that's going to just have to be for next anniversary.
Oh, God. I'm defrosting it. You're tough shit, man, and that thing is gone. Did you eat an entire roll of...
cookie dough.
Oh, yeah, just raw cookie dough.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely, that's something a lot of people probably had.
If you went to go make brownies and ate half the batter.
Oh, I bet that's something someone's done, for sure.
Or if you are deciding to eat your leftovers that are about a week old and you're not sure if they're still good, give us a call.
Right. Give us a call. What's the number, Tosh?
1-833-CBD-GANG. That's 1-833-CBD-GANG. Gang's all here. The CBD Gang. Give the show a call at 1-833-223-4264. That's 1-833-CBD-GANG. We're back with the CBD Source podcast.
And I was just thinking about like how blown out of proportion this is, and like taking one problem that's in an industry that's totally unrelated, flavors of nicotine vape, when they're talking about someone spiking these bad players who are spiking THC to make it thicker with this bullshit, and now somehow they're flipping it to nicotine because 4 or 5 people died. I did this like a 6-page editorial illustration for Maxim years ago, and it was about dumb ways people die just around the world, like the dumbest ways people die, and statistics. Like, so we've had 4 or 5 deaths with this knockoff vitamin E lipid pneumonia things people are getting. I printed out a couple. I don't have that Maxim article with me, but I printed out a couple. I was just checking to see like what other people, like, we've got hysteria about this now because there's been a few deaths, but like, let me give you some funny statistics of other things people have died of that we could possibly ban next.
Nice.
All right. So snake bites.
Mm-hmm.
Only 5 people a year die from snake bites.
No shit.
So we might as well kill all snakes.
Right.
And you can't own a snake.
You can't own a snake. No way. It's fucking deadly.
Even though they're maybe not venomous, the ones you own.
Don't matter.
Still
it's
a snake.
Epidemic.
Still a snake. Could bite you, and one thing could lead to another. Dog attacks. 34 deaths caused by dog attacks a year.
Wow.
That's a hell of a lot more than these vape carts.
Yeah. I'm surprised there's more by dogs than versus snakes. So you would think that there would be way more snake deaths. I don't know. Well, it's fucking weird.
The fuck? This is a national emergency. Sorry that you love that dog and pet it every day and feed it, but
you're gonna have to put it down.
Yeah, it's gone. It's gone. Your dog time in America is over. Alcohol poisoning.
Ooh.
Every day, about 6 people die from alcohol poisoning. That's more in one day than all of this whole vape thing has happened so far.
Yeah, that's...
So, if you have a liquor cabinet,
dump it.
Might as well be recycling those bottles. You're going to get 5 cents on each if you're in New York, so that's good, right? Let's see what else we got here. They get weirder, Anthony.
Nice. Does the death toll get higher?
No, they're all pretty low.
Okay, all right.
Vending machines. I had to draw this too, like someone getting crushed by a vending machine. Like,
oh yeah.
People just get pissed because their snack isn't coming out, and they just kind of shake it, and next thing you know, you got a 2,000-pound machine on you.
I can't imagine it's more than 3 a year.
13 people.
That's fucking
every
nuts.
year.
That's so nuts.
13. Over a dozen people are lying under glass and crushed Heath bars. Trampoline deaths. Between 1990 and 1999, there were 11 recorded trampoline deaths.
That's not much. I actually almost broke my neck on a trampoline.
Did you?
Yeah.
You could have been part of that statistic.
Yeah.
Fucking rounded up to a dozen. And if you were vaping while on that trampoline, fucking...
That's a fight.
But there's got to be a statistic for vaping just regular without this. Is there vaping deaths per year? Do we know any statistics?
No,
like
as of now,
there's
no deaths. There's really, other than these 5, there's really not been any recorded deaths from it. Now, as far as long-term effects go, they've been studying it for 10, 15 years at this point. I mean, I'm sure it's not 100% healthy, but it's definitely not a killer.
Well, let's put it in fucking perspective here. Like, how many people die a day or a year from like actual tobacco smoke, like smoking cigarettes?
480,000. And the fucked up part is...
A year?
Yeah.
Whoa.
That's a shit ton of people, dude. But something like 60,000 of those are secondhand smoke. So these poor people that didn't even fucking smoke are going to die because they hang out with somebody who does.
So if the 60,000 people who die from secondhand smoke, if their boyfriend or girlfriend is right now a vapor and switches back to smoke, like basically you're writing death sentences for people who aren't even smokers.
Exactly. And as far as secondhand vape goes, the Royal College of Physicians, they were actually the scientific body that back in the day told the world that cigarette smoking was deadly. Before then, it wasn't considered. People thought it was healthy. doctors were smoking and promoting it.
Right.
So anyways, this group of
Fred
scientists...
Flintstone was promoting it.
Yeah, fuck yeah. They've been studying vape quite a bit. In fact, you probably heard the whole 95% safer than smoking. That was a study done by the Royal College of Physicians.
Okay.
And in their study, they showed that secondhand vape was virtually harmless. The only negative thing, the nicotine gets absorbed into the user's bloodstream. There's really no byproduct.
So they're just basically blowing out vapored air?
Yeah, like similar to like a diffuser, like a water diffuser or an essential oil diffuser. I mean, it's essentially the same thing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, kiss that shit bye-bye.
Yup.
So for people out there who do vape, who have, say, quit smoking, switched to vape, and they only vape like flavored vapes, which is probably a huge percentage, I would imagine.
90+%.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Do you know is there any statistics about like how many people vape out there? Like how many people are into this?
I'm sure there is. It's huge, but I do know that over 90% of sales make up for non-tobacco flavors. So there's probably anywhere from 1 to, I would say, no more than 8% of people that vape use tobacco flavors.
Just straight tobacco flavor.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's going to be all that's left when they do a flavor.
It's a total, it's a ban without saying it's a ban. It's basically going to end the industry if they have it their way by getting rid of all flavors except for tobacco, which is a flavor, by the way.
It's crazy. I can't think of another industry that has been that chopped down like that.
Yeah, it's funny. There was an article a few months ago. Certain pharmacies were, every year they do, how many minors do you sell to a year? Every main retailer gets this test done. And 2 pharmacies were like really bad. They sold to a shit ton of minors. So in the vape world, politicians would say, all right, they're selling to minors. It's a vape product. Let's fucking ban the vape product. No, when it came to cigarettes, they said, okay, we'll consider revoking their tobacco license, which is logical.
It'd be like if an ice cream truck visited a neighborhood all the time and one kid
got diabetes.
Yeah. It'd be like ban all ice cream trucks because this one kid got diabetes.
Yeah, no.
Or like ban all ice cream. Only vanilla now.
Yeah,
just vanilla.
Right.
I know you like Baskin Robbins 30-something flavors.
You're only going to be able to eat vanilla.
Tough shit. It's vanilla time. All the time. Man, it is like the vanilla of flavors. You're stuck with just the one tobacco flavor. And if you don't like that flavor, you're SOL.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, there always is the DIY option, but...
What's the DIY option?
So, people can make their own e-liquid. It's fairly simple. Unfortunately, it might be the only option for those out there because they can't ban that, right? So, essentially, it's just flavoring... VG, PG. The only place where you'd find an issue is if they do ban this, it would be pretty hard to get liquefied nicotine. So I don't know about that. But yeah, you can do it yourself.
Do you turn everyone to a fucking backyard chemist?
Yeah,
making their like Snoopy snow cone machine version. That's messed up.
It is.
You know who is like probably totally loving this shit? All those nicotine gum companies. They're probably like their eyes closed, and when they open them, that has that like the dollar signs.
Oh yeah,
like cha-ching.
Yeah, this is probably great for them. Huh? Didn't think
nicotine
of that.
Lozenges. All these companies that are like been waiting, waiting and looking up at the vape industry, like, come on, something's gotta give.
Yeah,
because
this is good for them.
Well, some people need their nicotine, who are addicted to it, and people who vape. More than I do. Like, you like vaping. You actually enjoy the flavors and all of that stuff. It's sort of like having access to a smorgasbord of food for 10 years, and then all of a sudden they're like, nope, it's just boiled chicken from now on.
Broccoli only.
I know you guys had fun for a while there, but those dessert flavors, fucking out the door. No dessert. You just get this one plant to chew on, and I hope you enjoy it. Gross.
Yeah, it's a shame for a lot of people out there. There's definitely going to be a lot of people that are, And essentially this, I don't know, because I would imagine, what do you think? I think a lot of vapors might go back to cigarettes.
That would be fucked up, man.
It would.
And it could happen. Like, well, you get, say, like, it's day one of the ban, you know. You've got the bottles that you have in your house that you've bought, and you're slowly counting down the days until they're gone, I guess. You probably parse them out maybe a little, like add a little bit of just like normal vape juice with your flavor. Like you're trying to dilute them, just let
rationing.
them, rationing your vapes. Like I'm sure some people are how like, whenever anyone's threatened about guns being taken, they go out and buy 1 million bullets. Like there's probably people out there buying like stockpiling vape flavors right now.
That's true.
Just in fear of not being able to have that resource anymore. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's super unfair. I'm sure juice manufacturers are all pissed off too. I mean, New York's a pretty big market.
Yeah, and you'd think like what happens in New York could start a fucking domino effect.
Yeah.
Or, God, it's so weird. Like,
who thought Michigan would have started this shit? I didn't even know people in Michigan vaped. I didn't think it was that big of a thing. But yeah, I mean, look at they started this, and now, New York possibly is right behind them. And then
what's up with Cuomo? I thought this guy was very loose with this. With like, I thought he was cool and like wanted to switch things around. He wanted to legalize marijuana.
Yeah,
like that was a whole part of his platform, and now it's like cracking down on people who are trying to fucking quit smoking.
The biggest thing with vaping and flavored vape products is that they appeal to children, which they appeal to me too. I'm an adult, I would say. It's a shame that I just had a son, and when he's old enough, when he's like 14, 15, if he's doing weird shit like this, like I'm going to be a parent and say, like, what the fuck are you doing? Like,
yeah, this is not for kids.
Yeah.
Like, maybe when you're older, you can get into this kind of adult
when you're
stuff.
18, make your own decision. I would advise you against, starting a new habit. But, I understand that this stuff pertains to kids, or I understand that this stuff appeals to kids, but so does flavored alcohol and, cigarettes for that matter. I mean, kids want to try shit. They're curious and they want to rebel. So I remember
when I was a kid, and if my parents had a party or something and people were over and they were drinking, I knew the difference between that's a adult drink,
right?
And kids drink soda, or kids drink juice.
Yeah,
adults drink the adult drinks. We didn't know the names of the drinks they were drinking exactly. Like we knew beer,
yeah,
but we knew that those were adult drinks. That once we're adults, we can do that. It almost felt like, yeah, well, we're kids. We're not drinking the adult drinks.
Yeah, it'll be worth the wait. Yeah, if that's something we want to do. Like,
right. There's a kids table. There's an adult table. One day we'll be old enough. Like now we're young. One day we'll get to that adult table. Like that's the way I grew up.
Me too.
Like your parents raise you one way, where it's like if your parents raise you that way, then you understand that there's an adult time of life where you do adult things, and then there's stuff where that you can do as a kid, and you know that you need to wait. You need to graduate out of that. Right. And as an adult, I still drink soda and juice and shit like that.
Sure, yeah, exactly. I mean,
it's like Pixar movies are for kids, but they're also for adults. They know. Yeah, they know that the parents are bringing them there.
That's like the definition of nostalgia. I mean, sometimes I like shit that I enjoyed when I was a kid. So to say that, this fucking strawberry flavored vape is only appealing to children is kind of bullshit. And I think what it boils down to is like, you were saying you were raised to know kind of right from wrong in that way. For instance, I was at the mall last week, and the kids of this day are just so, it almost feels like they're parenting the parents, where like, it just seems that kids are being raised to, do whatever the fuck you want. And, because if they're, a Juul's not cheap. Your average 14-year-old probably, who's going to school, if you notice that he or she spent $50, what'd you spend this $50 on? So I think the lack of parenting is a big issue. Again, one guy, we were at one of the hearings for the Albany flavor ban, which got shot down. And this guy said it very well. He's like, I own a couple vape shops. I have 2 kids, 14 years old and 17 years old, and they don't vape because they have all the access in the world. He owns vape shops, but they don't vape because he raised them in a way that, when you're 18, make the decision. I think that's the problem.
Yeah, I guess it is. So is there anything for people who are in New York that want to try to stop this and want to be able to keep their vape flavors? I mean, is there a call to action we can tell the vaping community, the vaping gang out there? I know most of you, myself included, don't vape nicotine, probably just vape CBD, but it's one of those things, gang, where it's like, that old expression, first they come for the vapes and you said nothing, and then they come for the CBD vapes, and now the people who stood up for the vapes aren't there for you anymore because they're all gone. Like they're coming for one of your main forms of taking CBD now is at risk. I mean, I don't think they're looking to ban CBD vape at this point, but like you were saying, could happen. Yeah, it's one of those things where it's basically, think of it like this. As an American, you have rights. They're trying to take away a right from Americans. It might not be something you care about or stand for or have any fucking skin in the game, but anytime a right is taken away from us, you should be personally offended, because this is something that you had the ability to do before, and now there's some kind of ruling thing above you that's saying you can't do it. You don't have the option anymore.
Yeah.
And seriously, the more times that happens, the more chiseling away at our rights, the less we remember what rights we even have. And then eventually you just assume that any right could be taken away at any time, and you don't even have the right to protest it or raise your voice or have any kind of say. And especially if you don't stand up for rights that you don't care about, then when it becomes something that you actually do care about, nobody's going to stand up for your right.
Yeah, it sets a precedent. Like, if they can take away rights with no resistance, why wouldn't they? I mean,
right. If you're going to just roll over and let them, if you're a hardcore vapor and you love vape and you love flavors and all that, and you want to help take a stand against this, like, if you can stop New York, it'll stop a lot of other states, because New York is the fucking top of the food chain as far as a lot of decisions and things go. As goes New York, if you can make it there, you'll make it anywhere. If New York falls, then a lot of other places are going to probably follow suit. So I would say, what can vapors out there do?
Okay, I'll say this: anybody can call. I will say, if you're a New Yorker and you vape and you don't call this number, you're part of the problem. It's very simple. It'll take 10 minutes out of your day. The phone number is 518-474-8390. That is Governor Cuomo's office, and you're able to either leave a voicemail or speak to an agent. So,
can we have that number one more time?
Yep, it's 518-474-8390. And you will be put on hold for a while, but
and you don't have to be from New York to call that number. If you're a vapor and you're passionate about vaping and you live anywhere in this country, in America, I would say, give that number a call. You did it. You called and you waited on the hotline or something.
Yeah, I called Michigan's fucking government last week, and I don't even live there. So
exactly. So Michigan, do us a favor, do New York a solid, and call that number, and hopefully get this fucking stomped out before it becomes an actual thing. Because there's a lot of people who rely on those vapes that are now going to be SOL if this actually happens. All right. Thanks for the this has been very enlightening, Anthony. I know we got a little serious here, but there's a lot of people that are going to be affected if this actually happens, and it is a right that's going to be taken away from you. So there's your call to action, 518-474-8390. Give Andrew Cuomo a call and give him a piece of your mind as far as, please don't take our delicious vape flavors away.
Stand up for your rights, people.
Exactly. Can you just off the top of your head, off the dome, can you name a bunch of the crazy cool flavors that are going to be going away if this actually happens?
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah. I mean, some of my favorites, like the beloved Space Rocks from Lost Art. It's a strawberry kiwi candy that doesn't taste like strawberry kiwi, but it's fucking good. all your desserty flavors, your strawberry cakes and blueberry pie or whatever, candy flavors, even those who like a nice creamy tobacco. You can still have it, but say goodbye to that cream because it's just going to be tobacco.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's like creamy bisque tomato soup. Nope. Just tomatoes.
Just tomatoes.
Just tomato and water. Like all the cereal vapes, all that shit.
Yeah, cereal. If Fruity Pebbles, that's got to be the most popular vape flavor is Fruity frickin' Pebbles, man. And that's going to be gone, just so you know. Unless you do something. Unless we all do something.
Oh, man, I wish I could play an audio drop of Fred saying, Barney, my pebbles. Can you do a Fred impression?
No.
I'm
not really good at any impressions.
Barney, my pebbles. That's the worst.
That was pretty good, man. Keep that.
It's like knockoff Fred. You know what's hilarious? Next time you watch, if you're anyone out there who watches, normal TV that has commercials, the new Tony the Tiger commercials, the original guy who did Tony's voice died a few years back, so they had to bring in this imitation Tony, this knockoff Tony. He sounds nothing like the, they're great, like the really powerful Tony voice. It's like a wuss version of Tony.
Oh no, I'm gonna have to YouTube it and see if I can find that.
Bullshit. It is so bullshit. It's like the imposter Tony. Like just because you put, it's the same drawings, it's the same animation, but that ain't Tony in that fucking cartoon suit. That is not Tony. That's a bullshit Tony. It would be like if they drew Popeye the Sailor and all of a sudden he was like, me spinach. Olive, me spinach. It's like totally the wrong voice for him. I don't know. Anyway, thanks for letting me stop by the CBD Source Vape Lounge, Anthony. Thanks for telling everyone about all this crazy shit. I'm glad we got to learn a little more. Last time we talked, we thought it was these Chinese carts or something, and now we're learning that it's probably this thickening agent that's been causing all this shit, and that's great that we're finding more out about it. And then once you find the root, then you can go in and dig deep and like pull that fucking evasive, like poisonous element out of the system, and then everything else will clear up. But I think it's sick that politicians can use this as a way to have a new agenda that is based nothing on what's been going on as far as this thickening agent. Like it's just like, let's tag this on, and now kids are also vaping, so we don't want to get kids sick. So it's like such bullshit.
And it works, dude. Let me tell you, my grandma lives in Las Vegas, and she texted my dad the other night like, oh my God, you and Anthony should totally stop vaping. I just read that it's killing people. So yeah, people who don't know anything about vape are reading the headlines, and I guess our government's really good at misinformation. They've been doing it for decades.
Yeah, and especially on social media, how you can just get sucked into a circle of headlines and nobody reads the full articles, and then they're just like, fuck, vaping is bad.
Yeah.
Vaping kills. And there's 4 deaths, 5 deaths, and 500 people sick, and don't vape anymore. Meanwhile, 480,000 or whatever it is, people are dying from cigarette
that's okay,
smoking.
They pay fucking taxes on it.
It's fucking weird, man. It is. Some industry out there probably has a ton of money, lobbying money, and is very pissed off that the vape industry is taking away from their bottom line. And stories like this can spread pretty quickly when you have a ton of lobbyists out there making it spread with the right connections to media and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
So whenever some story like this happens and it's shutting down an industry that is not even related to what the problem is, there are other hands being patted with money, and there's a reason why things are changing like this. There's some conspiracy shit, I'm sure. Maybe go to I think we should start a Reddit post about it and see if anyone chimes in. So go to our Reddit page, thecbdgang.com. That's, if you're on Reddit already, it's r/cbdgang. We're gonna throw a little post up there like, what do you think about this nicotine flavor thing? Like, it has nothing to do with the THC stuff. Is there some conspiracy? What's your thoughts? And chime in there, post and see what happens. See if we can build a little thread and see what other people are thinking about this.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, great. Thanks, Anthony.
See you later, gang.
Peace.
Hey gang, want to score free CBD? Sign up for Loyal and Save online or on your phone and use it whenever you shop at CBD Source locations. You'll earn points towards free products and other cool merch. Sign up for free at cbdsourcepodcast.com/loyal. You can download the Loyal and Save app on iTunes or Google Play. That's our loyalty app. Call Help Designed It.
TheCBDGang.com, the official subreddit for fans of the CBD Source podcast. Questions, answers, CBD gangsters, at Karma. That's sweet, sweet Karma.
All right, gang. We will CBD you next Tuesday.
Give the show a call at 1-833-223-4264. That's 1-833-CBD-GANG.
The CBD Source podcast is written, produced, and hosted by Cole Cheney. Additional voice, camera, and web production by Ryan Weber. Graphic design and artwork by John DiGian Tommaso, Kevin Bierfeld, and Cole Cheney. Marketing by Penny Spinazzola. Special thanks to our resident CBD guru, Akash Patel, and our in-house CBD vape expert, Anthony Maltese, as well as our personal CBD chef, Ryan Weber, and thank you to our CBD fitness expert, Danny. Additional thanks to Tasha, Kevin, Liz, Steve, and Ryan for lending your vocal talent. I'm James Lazos. This is my one job on the show, to wrap it up. I'm the wrap-up guy. In New York, summer gets to be like a sweltering cesspool of BO and hot trash. Good thing I have this sweet podcast wrap-up gig to keep the AC going on at home. Want to be a guest on the show? Call us at 833-CBD-GANG. Again, that's 833-CBD-GANG, and leave a message with your contact information, and we'll get back to you right away. Visit us on cbdsourcepodcast.com for all the links to your social media. Be sure to subscribe to the show on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts. We'll see you next week.
All information in this podcast or its related social media pages and interactions are for informational purposes only. The CBD Source podcast does not offer medical advice. Its host, Cole Cheney, is not a medical professional. His experiences with cannabidiol and other cannabinoids are his own and may not affect you the same way. Everybody's endocannabinoid system is different. The statements made regarding CBD products have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. The efficacy of these products and the testimonials made have not been confirmed by FDA-approved research. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. All information presented here is not meant as a substitute or alternative to information from healthcare practitioners. Please consult your healthcare professional about potential interactions or other possible complications before using any product. The Federal Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act requires this notice.
Do you like or want to try quality, third-party tested CBD? Do you live in the New York, Pennsylvania area? We got you covered, gang. Stop by any of our 8 convenient CBD Source locations. We currently have New York stores in Middletown, Geneseo, New Paltz, Syracuse, Troy, Albany, and Chatham. We also have one in Pittston, PA. We're growing more each month, so check in with cbdsourcecenter.com to find our addresses and new store locations. While you're there, sign up for our mailing list. We're adding new stores across New York and Pennsylvania all the time. We may soon be expanding to a town near you.
Thank you for listening to the CBD Source podcast. This is how we CB do's it.